Rumpelstiltzkin. Once there lived a very poor goldsmith with his daughter in a kingdom. She was a very beautiful girl, and there was no any other girl anywhere in the neighboring kingdoms as charming as she was. She was not only a pretty girl, but also very wise. One day, the king's minister came there and entrusted him some old ornaments to be rebuilt. The goldsmith was a man who liked boasting very much. He praised his daughter before the minister and said, "She is very skillful, enough even to convert hay into gold." After a lot of talk, the minister went to the palace. Back in the palace, he told the king about the skill of the goldsmith's daughter. The king called her to his palace and kept her in a dark room with a bundle of hay. He said, "In the morning tomorrow, all these hay must be converted into gold. Otherwise, you will be hanged." Poor girl, she cried and cried. She cursed her faith and her father, who made unnecessary boasting. When it was midnight, a dwarf having only a height of 1 foot entered the room. He said, "Dear girl, don't worry. I can convert this hay into gold. But what will you give me in return?" "Very gladly," she said. "I can pay you giving my earrings." She slept well. In the morning, when she woke up, she saw all the hay converted into gold. The king was very happy, for he was a greedy person. Giving her another 2 bundles, he said, "These bundles might be converted into gold." He went away. Again she cried and cried. She was not sure whether the dwarf would come that night. But the dwarf came that night too. He promised her of converting the hay into gold if she could give him her only possession left, the gold chain. She agreed, and the dwarf converted all the hay into gold. Seeing the gold in the morning, the king became more and more happy and gave her another 3 bundles of hay to be converted. Even that night, the dwarf came. He promised her of converting the hay into gold if she agreed to give him her first child when it was 1 year old. Since there were no other ways, she agreed. The dwarf converted the hay and returned. The king married the girl. When 1 year was over, she gave birth to a girl child. 3 days before the first birthday of the child, the dwarf came to her room at night. He wanted her to give the child, but she cried and implored him to change his decision of depriving of her child away from her. Feeling sorry for her, he said, "I give you 3 days' time. If you find out my name correctly, I will not take your child." The dwarf returned. Every night the dwarf came, and she said any 3 names to him, but none of them was his name. The 3rd day, a soldier wanted to see the queen. He entered the room and said, "Your Majesty, yesterday when I was sentrying about the bush at night, I saw a small hut and watched it. A dwarf came out and sang a song. He sang, 'There is only 1 day left. I am going to have the child. The queen could not find my name. My name is Rumpelstiltzkin. The queen said thanks and sent him away. As usual, the dwarf came to her room. It was the third night. The queen said two fake names intentionally. At last, she said, "You are Rumpelstiltzkin." Rumpelstiltzkin. The dwarf shuddered heavily and trampled onto the floor tremendously. The floor split apart and the dwarf jumped into it. Again, the floor restored to its real form. He never returned.